I'm Danya,
And I'm Shaheen.
and you're listening to or watching.
Reality Woo Woo.
It's not something to believe in.
It's something to talk about.
And on today's episode, we're talking about our studious, hardworking pals, Capricorns, and who they best vibe with romantically, but also in like a business sense, because that's more their energy. Wouldn't you say, Shaheen?
Yeah, I was just thinking I should have worn my glasses for this episode. Too far
I have mine, but they catch the ring light, so we can't do
we
it.
can't do that. No.
Yeah,
Can't show
it
our
was
behind the scenes production.
Yeah, you get to see behind the curtain. Yeah, as I was like doing the research for this, it was pretty funny because I started to realize like one, not to say they're not like romantic, but Capricorns are like pretty strategic in the way that they live their lives.
I would say they're not romantic. No, I'm just kidding. I actually wouldn't say that. I just thought of a few that'd be like, don't say that.
Yeah, like we don't want to like hurt their feelings.
Strategic, they're calculated.
But they definitely, they can definitely look at love as like something to check off their list. You know what I mean? Like got the
Yeah.
power partner, on to the next thing.
Check.
That I'm yeah, exactly.
Check. I got my partner. Check. Got the baby. Check.
I made my first million. Next. Yeah, it's totally that vibe, which is not bad. And I don't think Capricorn should be insulted by that whatever, whatsoever. It's just how they are.
I don't think they would be.
Yeah.
I probably heard that and are fine with it.
So just to give people a rundown, just a reminder, if you're not a Capricorn and aren't obsessively thinking about Capricorns, that season runs late December, like December 22nd through January 20th, something like roughly around those dates, right? And what are they? They're the sea goat? Is that what it is?
The sea goat. Which I can go off on like some ancient esoteric nonsense about it, but I won't. Not for this episode.
Yeah,
they're known for the goat.
They're climbing up the mountain. That's a very good visual to think about with Capricorns. They're our fellow Earth sign. If we had a third host of this podcast, it like should be a Capricorn, but no.
I guess if we were following the rules, but it probably would be like a Scorpio or a Gemini or something.
Yeah, we would need
throw
a
some like weirdness into the mix.
Totally. If we had a Cap, the Capricorn wouldn't put up with our shit, truthfully. They would be like,
I can imagine having like a completely off the charts like Aquarius or someone to like throw in their asides. You
just
never
an
know.
air sign fucking shit up. Yeah. I can visualize it.
It would be balanced. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. So that, Capricorns, they're earth signs. I have a lot of placements in Capricorn, actually. A lot of people
our generation does.
Yeah. And that's
so funny. I was just talking about that today in a conversation, how generationally, like we got it all, like people born from what is it, like the late 80s
like
through the early 90s
to like
they all
90.
have Capricorn and Saturn and and Jupiter,
all
not
like
Jupiter
kind of our outer. Yeah.
Neptune and Uranus,
Yeah, I've got all.
So we all got that.
And mine are they're in my first house too. So my shit's like very present, which is why I am the way that I am.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So, okay. So based on, they're an earth sign, they're most compatible with other earth signs. So Virgos and Tauruses and Caps, and then water signs. So Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. So let's go through those each one by one. Because, even though these are like the paper couples, I'm like, I don't know about that shit.
Yeah.
Have you ever dated a Capricorn?
A few times. Yeah, actually. I was in a long-term relationship with a Capricorn, and I had kind of a long-term off and on fling situation with another.
Okay.
And it was also like one of them had the long-term relationship had Virgo rising and Virgo moon, And so that was a lot of earth for me. It was a little too much
Too
earth for me,
much.
like too much. And I have like some fire and some water in me, so I go around. But the other Capricorn, I don't really know anything about their signs. I just remember that their partner that they have now actually has the same birthday as me, which I
Mm,
find really funny.
okay.
Um, but that means they get along with Tauruses.
They do. Yeah. So that's a confirmed hit. That seems to work. That's cool.
Hmm.
I've never dated a Capricorn. I've never dated a Capricorn. I don't know. I just, yeah, it feels a little too rigid. But like, okay, not Danya. Let's just like look at the archetypes. Do I think a Capricorn
Yeah.
and a Virgo could work together? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Because
archetypally, yeah.
yeah, because we're both hardworking signs. We're pretty success oriented. I
Hmm.
actually like I'm the soft. A Virgo is a softer version, I think, of a
Yeah.
Capricorn.
I was
Yeah.
just seeing, even there's this funny thing in my head where I'm like, on the surface, like outside of knowing you and everyone important in my life being a Virgo, the definition of a Virgo is kind of, they're mutable, so they can be a little bit of lots of things. But Capricorn, I would say, is more like, I don't remember what they're a
Cardinal.
cardinal sign, I think. But I see them as kind of like cold and like direction focused,
Hmm.
and Virgo looks that way, but they're much more sensitive.
Yeah, Virgo's a little warmer and like
Yeah.
more motherly in some ways.
Yeah.
So,
Much more
yeah.
mothering. Yeah.
Like
Feminine
there's a
energy.
nurturing there, which
Mm-hmm.
I think it depends on where your Venus is. Like for me,
Mm.
I can't date a Capricorn because my Venus is in Libra. So I'm like sparkles in the eyes and I need
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
mushiness to keep me
Mm-hmm.
engaged. But I think a Virgo who has different placements, like I actually think this is a bang on relationship. I think it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a Capricorn, again, I think it's fine because they kind of see love as like
Yeah.
a potentially a checklist item. So,
They
you
would
know,
both see compassion the same way too, whatever that means to them.
yeah, exactly. They're it's not to
Whatever that
like we're
means to
saying
them.
that they're not soft, but it's like they have their own version of soft,
Yeah,
whatever
whatever that means.
whatever that means for them,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm a Taurus, so I'm mushy as fuck, and my moon's in Pisces, so I'm crying about everything on the
Yeah.
inside, and it's not really. Capricorn is a little bit harder.
I just feel like yeah, they don't have the patience for it. Okay, so then water signs, that's where I'm like, okay, if we think we're emotional, like water
Hmm.
signs are like way more emotional and that's kind of the other. So even thinking about that, I looked up and the first one was like cancers and Capricorns are great together. I'm like, what the fuck? Like that just wouldn't I don't know. That doesn't sound like it would work to me.
Yeah.
Um
No.
but maybe I think it
Not
depends.
immediately.
Like if we
Maybe
want to like
like their imbalance could.
psychoanalyze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like Cancer could be like bring more fun. Cancers are funny. Cancers have jokes. They have stories, and
They're
Capricorn
warm.
is a
They're
little
like
bit drier.
they're a little parental. So or I guess that's how I
Capricorns,
no, cancers I think are
Cancers.
like yeah, they've got like
I'd say that
parent.
both of them are a little parental, so maybe they get along with
Yeah, that's why I'm
that.
like Cancer has like mom energy and Capricorn has like dad energy, so like together
Yeah.
it
Mm-hmm.
works,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I see it
Okay,
that
you've
way.
convinced me.
Uh-huh.
You've sold me.
Like it convinced us
Yeah.
on its
Well, and
own.
also like if
It's
you're out
math. This
there
is the science.
here's where the science comes in.
The
Yeah, if
science
the
comes in.
Capricorn's out there like going for it, right? Then they do need someone at home to be like, hey, babe, you know, a little bit. And
Yeah.
I definitely think that's a Cancer. But I do think
Yeah,
Cancers can
for sure.
potentially feel a little neglected. But that's just me
They could.
positing things.
Cancers would, and that would be a problem in the relationship. I'm just going to call that. I would say that Cancers might feel neglected or ignored, and Capricorn will not notice that. So Cancer might be
Yeah,
led
the
to
resentment is just like,
manipulative
you know,
actions. Yeah, they might just do things that, like, I don't know, like ripple the waters around because they can't be as direct with Capricorn. Although in that sense, I think that Scorpio and Capricorn would get along great because they would not be, they
yeah.
would be indirect on the same level with each other. And
Yes.
like the respect for each other's indirectness or like
I'm
privacy
agreeing
or
with
whatever.
that. I think of the water signs, Scorpio
Uh,
and Capricorn seem to be like there's that coldness to it.
Uh-huh.
And also the like privacy aspect, actually, like the coldness and the privacy
Hmm.
aspect to me makes sense. And I think
They
that's where
would
we landed.
respect how to
Yeah.
talk about certain like topics with each other. They wouldn't go guns blazing in on like a
Mm-mm.
subject that they couldn't handle. They would be like, "Hey, babe, let's tiptoe into this together
Let's
and see
wade
if it's
into the
okay."
waters.
I feel like
Yeah.
they'd both communicate similar.
And I think that's where we landed in the Scorpio compatibility episode. We're like, oh yeah,
Did
this
we
sounds
say the
like it could
same
work. Yeah.
similar?
We
Yeah.
talked ourselves into it then. And Pisces,
Hmm.
I do not see that working.
Pisces
But
and Capricorn.
like, I feel like Capricorns would, kind of the same situation with Cancer. Like, the Pisces would feel like they're not getting enough out of the relationship, but they wouldn't be able to like
Mm.
really communicate that in like a clear way to the Capricorn. And then if they did, the
Mm-hmm.
Capricorn would kind of feel like they're like, I don't have time for this shit. And then the Pisces would just like
Yeah.
disassociate. You know what I mean? Like, it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
yeah.
have a feeling for some reason that there's an interesting celebrity couple. I'm not even trying to like foreshadow. I just have a feeling, even if we don't have one, I bet there's like a weird one out there that might make sense. Might make sense of this
With
mess.
that, like a Pisces and a Cap.
I can't even have really an opinion on it. I feel like they're so different from each other, but they're
Okay,
also like really close.
I do have an interesting one, but I don't think it's a functional relationship, and I will call that
Mm,
out. I do have a Capricorn Pisces pairing that
fun.
we'll discuss.
Put a pin in
Um
that one.
yeah, no,
Stay
good foreshadowing.
tuned.
So yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and get into the relationships and kind of digest them with giving you like actual people so that you can kind of get a sense in your head what we're talking about.
Hmm.
So, as I mentioned a little bit at the beginning, when I was doing the research, it was almost a little difficult to find celebrity couples with Capricorns.
Hmm.
It was like, I mean, it just, like, they exist, right? We talked about in the Sagittarius episode about Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth, and he's a Capricorn, she's a Sag, but,
Mm.
and John Legend is a Capricorn and Chrissy Teigen is a Sag. We mentioned those couples in that episode, so I don't have them here, but I also found beyond, like, for this episode, we're not going to just talk about relationships. We're going to talk about their collaborative and creative partners as well, because that is a really, Shaheen and I are in a relationship, you know, this is a very collaborative,
Yeah.
creative relationship that we have. And your
Hmm.
compatibility for these sorts of things matters just as much, I think, when you're
Yeah.
creating anything with someone
Absolutely.
else. Okay, so the first person I have on my list is Timothée Chalamet. Are you a Timothée
Hmm.
Chalamet person?
I'm not like a huge fan of him, but I like him. I feel like I'm like a year away from feeling the same way as I do about Zendaya.
Okay,
Like, you know,
okay.
when there's like a celebrity, a young celebrity, I haven't been brought into his world enough yet, but I'm obsessed
Hmm.
with Zendaya way more than I was a couple years ago.
So you feel
So,
like you're ramping up there. I got really on the like
maybe.
Timothée Chalamet train probably in like
Yeah.
2018, 2019
You've brought him up plenty on this show, I'm sure. We can like cut together some Timothée
of me
Chalamet
talking
and
about him, because
yeah.
there used to be, I kid you not, there was a column in Marie Claire that every week was like, what's going on with Timothée Chalamet? And I was obsessed with it. It was like it came out on Fridays. It was my favorite thing to read. I'm like, what is he doing this week? And I was
What is
heartbroken
he
when it
doing?
was, he was just so, I don't know. He's like lovely to think about.
Mm.
So he's a Capricorn. And funny that you mentioned Zendaya, because that's the first person I have paired with him. So
Oh, that's so fun. I was
yeah,
mentioning two young
you
celebrities. I
were.
had no idea.
They act together, and so they've been
Were
like
they on the
rumored.
hills? I'm just kidding.
Not they were in Dune, which is
Hmm.
why they're, I think, romantically linked, but they're not. Like, that was just a rumor. But they are collaborative partners. They're very supportive of each other, the way that they talk about each other in the press. And Zendaya is a Virgo, so that's where
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, okay,
Hmm.
this makes sense. Capricorn, Virgo,
Yeah.
they're very appreciative of each other. They love each other's hard work ethic. They find each other both very talented. There's like a mutual respect there,
Hmm.
which I enjoy. His other really prominent collaborative partner is Saoirse Ronan. Did you see Little Women?
Hmm. Uh, no, I did not, but I saw Lovely
Lady
Bones
Bird.
and I haven't seen Lady Bird, even though I live in Sacramento.
Okay.
I should though.
Well,
Yeah.
those are their like big ones that they're both in.
We just
And
listed. Yeah.
yeah. And she's a Taurus. So there you go.
Cool.
You've got his like collaborative partner trifecta is all earth signs. That's his
cool.
deal, which is cool, right? I
get
thought
it.
that was fun to like interrogate him. Like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They like, they flow, and then
I suddenly think they all laugh a lot together about similar things.
they like actually like enjoy the work, even though they're all like really serious about it. They're all like, those are three of probably the most talented actors of that
if you
generation.
Google pictures of them, they look serious as fuck, but I bet they all have a great
they're
time
giving,
together.
but they're able to like crack that facade with each other. But he does date people. He tends to date Nepo babies, which is fun. So he was romantically linked to Lourdes Leon, who is Madonna's daughter. She's half Cuban. Just everybody needs to know that at all times. Leon is my mom's maiden name, so it's like I'm probably related to her in some way. And she's a Libra though. That did not work. They went to the same performing arts high school. And then he was with
Libra fits in with how I was saying earlier that like Capricorn would like crush a Cancer or a Pisces or something. I feel the same way about Libras. They
too delicate.
They would not be the same.
Just like smash that little flower. Yeah.
Capricorn would be like, it needs to be this way, and Libra would be like, how does anyone think that anything needs to be one way?
You really put yourself in the Libra seat there. I like that.
Yeah, I've gotten better at seeing through the world through their eyes.
That? Yeah, obviously, there's multiple options. His other romantic relationship one that we know of was with Lily Rose Depp, so Johnny Depp's daughter, who was a Gemini. So he seems to be attracted to the air energy. That's all I'm saying. Even though it's like obvious that he vibes more with earth signs. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Obviously. Okay, so then this next pairing I thought was really fun too. I'm really into basketball, so that's where we're going with this. LeBron James is a Capricorn. He's arguably, the greatest basketball player of all time. 20 years in the league, just broke the scoring record, like still at the top of his game, even though, he's literally like 38 years old. And he married his high school sweetheart. Her name is Savannah James, and she's a Virgo. So that, again, not to say that they're not actually in love. I'm sure that they are. But I do think he was like, I got to focus on my career. So here's this person that I was romantically linked with when I was a teenager. And that's going to be the person. She's going to raise these kids. And she's a Virgo. I can trust her. Great. I'm going to go focus on basketball and being a billionaire and building this brand and doing all the other things. You know what I mean?
That is a great example of both the Capricorn's determination and ability to like see their goals ahead of them, and also a Virgo's sense of like martyr complex, maybe.
Being like, and and you know what? As a Virgo, he thanked her when he got the scoring record and was like, I couldn't do it without her. And I'm like, dude, that's like the highlight of her life. Like that's all we live for. It's for somebody to like thank us in a public setting. Oh my God.
You didn't need to say that, baby. but you fucking did.
Or else. Absolutely. That's like it. But then I also have his collaborative partners, which I thought was fun. So, his, one of his besties who he played on the Miami Heat with, I think won a couple championships with, is Dwayne Wade, who is another Capricorn. So that's a Capricorn on Capricorn pairing. The earthiness, the business of it makes a lot of sense. And I think it was a better matching than who I'm going to bring up next, which is the Pisces example. Made so much sense to me. I'm a diehard Lakers fan, and I hate Anthony Davis. He's the other like superstar Laker. He's a Pisces. Me and my boyfriend joke that he's like made of glass because he's always getting hurt. Like sometimes he plays tremendously, but he just doesn't live up to his potential. And so him and LeBron have won one championship together, but it's just like we thought it was going to be better than it is. It just.
As a person who's gotten his unibrow lasered away, I don't really vibe with him either.
I just cannot stand the man. I know people like him, but and I don't think that his relationship with LeBron like came to be what we thought it was going to be. Like it doesn't work the way we want it to. So I don't know. That's my take. That's the only Pisces I have on the list, but that's what I'm giving you. Okay, the next one's a little
Dwayne is also a Capricorn.
Yeah.
And his wife Gabrielle is a Scorpio. I just thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
Thank
you for bringing that up. Actually, we could have talked about Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I just like realized it. I was like, wait a minute.
He's also famous and in a famous relationship.
And in a relationship.
Yeah. So totally to your end, that seems to work. And they've had, infidelity situations they've gone through. Their daughter's trans, and they're both very vocal for the trans community on that behalf, which I think is groundbreaking.
Their daughter Zaya is also a Gemini. Interesting combos.
Look at all of that energy in that house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
The next one is we've spent a lot of time talking about everyone's favorite royals, Meghan and Harry, but Kate Middleton is a Capricorn. And this, I literally wrote in the notes, Prince William is a Cancer, not fucking surprising. Manipulative.
Not
not, I didn't know that, but it's I knew that,
What is, what do we call him? He's not Prince Harry anymore. What's his last name?
Oh, Prince William. No, Prince William is
Harry.
Oh, Harry. Yeah, no, he's still Prince.
Since
they haven't
he's not
taken
a prince.
They haven't that's a controversy in and of itself. Is they haven't given up their titles yet, even though they're not. Yeah, it's weird.
He's a Virgo, so he's on the right side.
Yeah, but Prince William, the relationship with Kate Middleton and Prince William, you could. She went to school. She was basically groomed to marry him. You know what I mean? She went to school with him. And that's a very Capricorn thing. You know what I mean? She was I'm going to marry the fucking king of England.
That is the goal. Yeah.
Yeah. The goal here is to be the hot chick in this class.
Yeah. This is how I, as a Capricorn, am romantic. The goal is I got my eyes on the fucking prize.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So,
in that sense, she's completely winning.
She did it, right? She check. She did it. Okay, the other person I've got here I thought was interesting is Jeff Bezos. He's a Capricorn. Right now I'm really just about tech billionaires, but his
aren't we all?
Right. It's coming to an end, hopefully. Mackenzie Bezos, his ex, who we know who's giving away all of her money. This made sense to me. She's an Aries. She's fuck it up. Let's give it away. Let's just go, which makes sense to me. And then his current partner, Lauren Sanchez, is a Sagittarius. So he likes that fire energy.
He likes that fire.
Yeah. He likes.
I wonder
to
what
get
his
burned.
other signs are. Maybe he likes to get burned.
Yeah, that's what he's looking for. That's his kink. He wants a little fire.
I bet he does need that though. He needs someone who can turn him,
whip him into shape,
sideways. Yeah. Yeah. Capricorns are in charge, and they know how to get. And he's
so successful. Done. Yeah.
So
that seems unmanageable
in the
a
bedroom.
lot
I
of ways.
bet he's tied up.
Okay, all right. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
For legal purposes, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
And then the last people I have on the list is kind of personal, not personal, but David Bowie was a Capricorn. And his wife, supermodel, activist, Iman, is a Leo. But she just, if you ever watch any videos of her talking about him and their love, it's this woman, it's been, I think he passed away in 2016, but, that was the love of her life. They were fucking twin flames. And I can see how that is such a total power couple. We haven't mentioned Leos and Capricorns at all, but that does feel like that could be a very solid relationship.
Yeah, there's something nice about that. I feel like Leo's a fixed sign. They like to have stability, but they also are naturally magnetic and fiery. So I feel like Capricorns would jive with that, or they would both benefit from it.
They would both benefit from it in a way, that I think it's lovely. So yeah, I just threw that one in there. That's all I've got.
Well, to Capricorns.
Cheers to our fun rock climbing sea goat friends.